Welcome to our new series, the 200 Movie Challenge. Our goal this year is to watch 200 movies that we haven't seen yet. If you want to listen to the full podcast where this clip is from, the link will be in the description. Now enjoy today's movie. But Soto, we're about to hit movie 100 and talking about movies
Woohoo!
that may or may not ask a lot. So before we even get into this, you suggested
Yes.
this movie,
Uh-huh.
and we talked
I
about
did.
it. So it's not even a spoiler alert because we talked about it in the last podcast. I don't know if it came out
Mhm.
as a joke, and I'm like, we have to do this. I don't know if you saw that. I forgot how it went, but speaking about video game movies, so our 100th movie, and this is live action, is
It
Minecraft.
is.
So before
It's
we
a
even start
Minecraft
talking
movie.
about this film, why?
Uh-huh.
Why did you feel like this had to be our 100th movie? Because once you said this had to be our 100th movie, I had to watch
Yeah.
this with you. But
I,
what made you say this? Or was it just a quick whim? Like, hey, let's do
nothing.
Minecraft.
Nothing complicated. Nothing. It was available on Max.
Hmm.
It was a newer kind of a movie, and I figured, fuck it. Like, let's watch a newer movie that people have talked about. Clearly, there was a lot of uh, buzz around this movie because of how Gen Alpha was acting in the theaters and whatever, or Gen Beta, whatever the fuck they're called. And especially during the chicken jockey scene where people were literally trashing theaters when Chicken Jockey would come out because of whatever this fucking means to these people that like Minecraft. And so I just had to know. I had to see. I had to see what was the big deal. I had to see, okay, like how bad of a movie could it be? It's like it just has to be a movie. I mean, I don't need to know anything about Minecraft to
Enjoy a movie.
enjoy a movie that stars Jack Black, do I?
No, and neither of us are Minecraft players. There's very little
No.
I knew about Minecraft, and I just, a couple content creators that I've watched videos. They do prank videos or funny videos, but they make it entertaining. So I know very little. It's funny that you said stars Jack Black. It's the first thing I notice is how does Jason Momoa get top billing for this movie? Did you notice that?
Oh, because he produced it. Well, he's an
Oh,
executive.
did he?
He's a
I did.
producer on
I'll be
it.
honest. I didn't catch
It's not
that.
his name on that shit.
I'm like,
And I was like, Jason Momoa produced this shit.
all right, all right. I guess I get it, but having Jack Black as Steve, who is the main character of Minecraft for the most part, and is Jack Black,
Yeah.
sometimes you got to step aside. You're like, listen, I get it. This guy gets top billing because I'm like, no, no, no. Jack Black's the star. So yeah, I'm sorry. I just remember that I did not know Jason Momoa produced it. Uh, yeah, no. I mean, I will say this, and I know we're gonna sound like old men, or maybe not. I don't know how you feel about this. Yeah, I knew about the chicken jockey. Kids
Yep,
going
of course.
crazy and yelling and screaming, and
Crazy
I'm like,
kids.
okay, that's fine. Kids can have what they want. I'm sure there's movies when we were kids that we were like, oh my god, Transformers, whatever. I mean,
Teenage
I don't
Mutant
think
Ninja
I
Turtles.
don't think we've friggin' trashed theaters, but anyhow. But so I'm watching this, and we're
Uh-huh.
starting from the beginning, and I'm like, Jill actually watched this with me too because I
I was
had a
saying we, okay.
well,
Well, Sarah
well
watched this
because
with me as well.
because it was on Max. We only have Max on because on the PlayStation, so it's not like I can watch on just the TV or laptop if I have to go away for a little bit just to watch a bad
Right.
movie. So yeah, I'm like, yeah, I'm watching this. I'm like, if you want to watch it, great. Just so I'm like, I'll wear headphones. She's like, no, I'll check it out. Oh my God, Seto, this. Oh, this was a drag. This and and I love Jack Black. But
Yep.
man, this movie's I had to I tried to get into it a little bit. I'm like, okay, I get the plot. They kind of like Super Mario Brothers. I don't know how you do a plot of Minecraft, but they did their best. Like, hey, there's this old mine that I want to go check out, but the old man won't let me in. And now that I'm older, I can move to the right and just sneak in. And that's how Jack Black gets
Yeah.
there. And obviously, story reasons he gets stuck there, but he sends a square wolf, and I get why it's a square wolf, Dennis to the real
That
world.
one's
And he
called a
gets
werewolf?
oh, it's a wolf, but because it's blocky. Because remember, because you create, so that's why it's
Werewolf. That's great. I didn't even think about that. Oh my god. I was
uh
wondering why he was so
well,
yeah, all right. Okay.
because he was
Werewolf.
built in the Minecraft. So he obviously when you
Sure,
build there,
yeah.
you like most of the characters, they have very, you know, um, blocky looks and stuff like that. And and then obviously you got the kid who doesn't fit in, and things go wrong, and he's, a lot of this is typical, and I don't know. Again, maybe it's not for me, and maybe I just don't get the
Mhm.
Minecraft world. I mean, I'm not into building games. I just kind of like MMOs. I just feel like you need to spend a lot of time with it. I'm fine with people who play Minecraft. I don't have an issue. I just think this movie just tried too hard or did too much, and it definitely was not for me. I don't know how you felt. So, what were your initial thoughts going into when you started watching this?
Well, my question for you is: did you ever see Napoleon Dynamite?
Yes,
Okay, and what'd you think about Napoleon Dynamite?
I was better with Napoleon Dynamite than this film. I can tell you that right now.
Well, I
But
mean, did you enjoy Napoleon Dynamite? Like, just objectively speaking.
yes, but like you just kind of said in your last review, it's not a movie that I need to go back and revisit. I
Okay,
mean,
well, have you seen?
there were some parts that I'm like, okay, I enjoyed it. I get it. It is a different kind of humor, and
Yeah.
I love Jack Black. I like a lot of the things he's done. I'm sure there's some misses in there that I can't think of, or I have not watched a lot of movies in the last 10 years. Hence why we're doing this project. But I don't know. I don't know. There's just a lot of things that I was just like, oh, it just was so bad. So yeah, Napoleon Dynamite. Yeah, I was fine with it. I like it. If it was on my list now, it definitely would not crack the top 10. Wouldn't be on the bottom. It would be somewhere in that middle probably. But for what I think, because there was a lot of hype to this, and we've talked about this, and it's got Jack Black.
Yeah.
I think I expected more out of this. And then even the
Well,
crazy Jason Momoa, I think that might have been the best part, just the crazy '80s video game character,
yeah, it
whatnot.
made me laugh.
Yeah, he had his
Yeah.
moments, and then it was just overplayed. But anyhow, back to my original question. Just what were your thoughts as you started watching this, or you know, I mean, are you
Well,
old man
so
Soda for this? Like I'm old man Chad, or you're like, hey, this.
not really, because like I've seen Napoleon Dynamite, I've seen Nacho Libre. Those are Jared Hess's previous movies before directing this film. And so I kind of was going into it, with the mindset of like, okay, I'm gonna see a Jared Hess movie and a Jack Black movie, like, and it's gonna be weird and all that. And I mean, I don't know, like I went into this movie with zero expectations. I saw it on a Sunday morning. And I was like, whatever. I just gonna watch this. I love the colors. It was great. Um, I didn't understand a lot of it, but I don't have to understand when stories kind of just get predictable and kind of make no sense towards the end. I mean, probably you get a lot more enjoyment, I think, from this movie if you are into Minecraft. I think it was very Easter eggy.
Yes.
Um, and I just knew I was missing stuff, and so, but you can balance that out with a story that's engaging and makes sense. And an example that I want to use is that um, the Jumanji remake with The Rock has no business being as good as it is, but it is because it makes sense and it has a great story. Also, another movie with Jack Black,
I try to watch
and a
that for
movie
this
that
week. It's not free. That is I'm trying to find that. But anyhow,
it is fucking hilarious, and it's so well done, and The Rock is awesome. And but again, it has a story, and yeah, it might be a little bit predictable, but there's a little bit of twists here and there, and there are some callbacks to the original Jumanji, but um, I was able to kind of follow along with it, and I was pleasantly surprised. And so with a Minecraft movie, I'll never see this again. Entirely predictable. Jason Momoa's character did make me laugh, or at least chuckle from here to there.
yeah.
Um, of course, Jack Black always makes me laugh. Just him being Jack Black, and he was hamming it up as Jack Black in this movie. He's pretty much told to just pretty much be Jack Black. And so I enjoyed that part. But overall, especially during the last like second act, third act, it just kind of was like, just okay, like where just wrap this up because we all know that everything's going to work out and everything's going to be great and blah blah blah. So again, it was uninspired, but I'm not mad about it. I kind of got the vibe that you were more old man shaking his fist at the clouds about this movie than
So
I was, but I
I will
thought it was
say,
just kind of whatever.
yeah. No, the scenery and the world that they made in my was actually pretty brilliant. That was well done from the few
Yeah,
things I see. That was did not get me wrong. Like
Look
I said,
nice.
it was well done. And again, I don't know a lot of Easter eggs. There is a few that I do know. Like I think it was Momoa who went underground, and they kind of show like little diamonds or TNT because you can accidentally, as you're digging, blow yourself up or find diamonds. You know, you might have heard people always searching for diamonds. So I'm like, oh look, they kind of added that. That's cool. And again, watching content creators, there's like the big block guys like that guarded. And there was one guy, this creator called Cartoons. He had one called Xavier. It was this whole prank war that they did on, and it was
Uh-huh.
they made it entertaining. It had nothing to do with it, but the way they created it. So when I'm like, oh fuck, that's Xavier. I mean, that's what he named it. So yeah, there's definitely some callbacks or Easter eggs that I'm like, I got. Trust me, there's probably a shit ton. Like I don't get chicken jockey. Like that was one just because I'm not in it. But once that appeared, I'm like, okay, this is what kids were freaking out over. You know, a zombie riding a chicken, um, or like when they
Guess it's
killed them and
like
they
a rare
became like a
spawn
little
or something.
chicken or pork chop. You know, like
Yes.
I got that, or like even so. Yes, again, it did. This isn't like I said. This is not the worst thing I've seen. I did get a few laughs. Jason Momoa and Jack Black are awesome. I did question like I look at this older sister and she's trying to take care of her brother. I'm like, she seems like 13 at best. And then she's running,
Yes.
you know, I'm
She's
like,
driving a car.
yeah, I mean,
Like, why is this child driving? This is, makes no sense to
and then you know
me.
they get this house like they're like, oh, it's cheap here, and I'm like, this is actually not a bad place to live. I'm like, you know what I mean? If this is cheap, great. And she's working at a potato chip plant. So yeah,
In
no, I mean,
Idaho.
no, there was you know there was definitely some things like you chuckle at, you laugh at. A lot of this is predictable. I mean, obviously, you got to be in a kids movie. Yeah, I don't
It's a
know
kid
why.
movie,
I
dude.
mean, overall, I don't know if I felt like something different was gonna happen. I don't know what to expect. Like you, I think I just went in. Not that I went in confused, but just like, okay, how do you make a fucking movie out of Minecraft? You know, and I think just this is definitely. I will say this. This is probably better than the 1990. No, it is better than the 1993 Super Mario Brothers. I will say that because at least this had some
Is
kind
it?
of story. Oh, well, yes. I'm
Yeah.
sorry that was, and I think that just disappointed the shit out of us again, our age group. I don't know. Like I said, I mean, I'm not going to see it again. If they do a sequel, I could care less about seeing the
I have
sequel. I know I
no
saw this.
interest in
I This
that.
was not on my
I probably
radar
will.
this year until you said this has to be movie 100. I'm like, fuck. I'm like, all right, I'm in. You know, I will press play with this. You know, we will.
It's
I
free.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, just but even some movies that are free, I'm like, yeah, you know. But I again, I who knows if I always saw this later in the year. But definitely was not on my radar. But since you said it, so. But Soto, you know, where are you feeling this movie in your list? Where do like
Yeah.
how do you feel, you know, for a movie video game movie, you know, I mean, I guess we just never played that video game. I mean, it's hard to feel nostalgic or anything for it when you don't play the game
No,
too. And that's the hard
right,
part.
but I mean, but it could still be a good movie, you know what I mean? Like, it's you don't have to although it is probably gonna get a sequel because it's just
It
it
made a
made
lot of
money,
money.
and
Oh yeah.
anything that makes money gets a sequel. It's just how it goes because it's just how it is. You know, you could still draw interest of people being like, you know, okay, well, maybe I'll go and I'll play this afterwards. Like a lot of for me, like it's not really a video game per se, but what got me starting to play Baldur's Gate 3 was I had watched the movie Dungeons and Dragons Honor Among Thieves starring Chris Pine. And I really liked that. And I didn't know too much about D&D and the rules and everything like that, but I loved the world. And so when I found out that Baldur's Gate 3 was in that world, I was like, "Oh my god, I want to play that video game." And with Minecraft, it didn't do anything for me to want to load up Minecraft and become the next Steve and find out what everything's all about.
So
I'm a sucker for stories, you know, in games, and Minecraft is one of your make your own adventure games, and there's no story, then I'm kind of out on
I
it.
will say, Soto, two things.
Mhm.
Most people enjoy the open sandbox world where you just create, you invite friends, and that kind of thing. I will say, if you played kind of the main game, from my understanding, because they did kind of put that in where the joke was every 20 minutes zombies come. I'm like, Soto, knowing you and just
I
your
don't.
anxiety to that game, like I've seen you play Resident Evil. I think just and you know run away from certain characters. I'm like that happening, I think would just fill you with trauma. Just every 20 minutes, like, oh shit, these. So yes, I think most people who play enjoy Minecraft enjoy the open world build. No, no cares, no rush, and that's great. You build your world, you just have, whatever. Um, but yeah, so I did like that little aspect because yeah, it turns nightfall and you just gotta stay alive, protect yourself from zombies. So, but
Wow.
where do
Well,
you? Yeah, no, no. I mean, again, not for me. I can't. I don't have time for those kind of games. I probably if I was younger, I probably would have been into Minecraft. Like if this came out when we were kids, and I had even as maybe teens, like oh yeah, look at this what I built and fun shit. Let's go do this. But yeah, now I'm like I just don't have time. But the question is Soto, and I'm gonna look into where do you put Minecraft on your list?
for me, this fits right below that, right below Havoc. This would be my number 34 movie of the year. Right above Twisters. I mean, just kind of that's where I feel like it belongs the
You know,
best. I mean, I wouldn't put it down in the dark ages of where Brutalist is, but I didn't think this movie was offensive to me. It just was boring towards
so
the end. That's all.
I love the fact that you said Twister Soto because as I was looking at my list before we did this, I was in that area and I was debating below or above Twisters, but I went the opposite direction. I went two spots below it because I this will be my
Yeah.
new number
Oh,
37, which is below Twisters, but also right below Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I'm kind of right
wow.
there. Yeah, again, I think because with the Turtles movie, the remake, obviously, I wanted to hate it. And again, it's not a great movie, but some of the action scenes I had fun with. I'm like, okay, again, I do not want to go see the sequels, but there was some enjoyment. Um, and I do say some. But yeah, I always say, I think I would rather see the new Turtles movie than a Minecraft. So like if you had to choose, that's how I'm kind of doing this because my list and kind of your list is kind of like the enjoyment. And like I would
Mhm.
rather see a Turtles remake again than Minecraft. But again, I'm not saying any of these movies are great. I'm probably never going to see it again. I just remember the Turtles movie. I had some fun, laughing at some of the action scenes. And does it live up to the 1990 film? Nope. That's us. I know some of the
That's
newer
it.
kids, younger kids are like, no, man, this is all that, whatever. That's fine. I'm okay with that. That's your choice. But yes, I'm putting Minecraft movie at number 37, right below. But I was looking at that Twisters area. So right when you said that, I'm like, yeah,
Oh
I
yeah.
was kind of in that same
That's great.
area. And
Yeah.
I was looking like I was going above, below. Then I saw turtles, and I was there. This could change. I don't think so, but you know what? As we reevaluate our list every now and then, as we do, um, who knows? But yeah, right now I feel good. I'm at 37, right below Turtles, which is right below Twisters. So
Yeah, I think after 25 movies or so, like when I get to 75 movies, I'll take another look at everything. But I feel pretty good, and it was nice, and we'll talk about this more another time. But it was nice to go through the whole list and be like, no, this goes here. No, this goes here. Okay, I feel good about this because I'll be honest with you, I might whatever my top five ends up being, I might buy at least two or three of those and put them as part of like my physical media. So that's my plan. At the end of this is to be like, okay, I'm gonna watch 100 new movies, and then I'm gonna buy like the top two or three that I like, and then those are gonna go into my DVD collection or Blu-ray collection.
yeah, I don't really buy physical anymore. I at least movie wise, I know people still collect, and that's fine. I mean, there might be a
Because you
couple.
never know,
This is true. This is true. You never know. Um, but I
you
also
know.
you kind of been saying it from time to time, like movies find you at the right time. Um,
I do.
and if some of the newer ones I need to rewatch or want to rewatch, I will. But I guess it's not like again what movies you grew up on because like Dogma. Dogma's finally able to come get re-released. Then I'm glad I have
I
that
would
on
buy that
DVD.
one on Blu-ray.
Yeah.
I would buy that one because it's not available on streaming, and so with streaming and we've done this whole thing now for half a year. You don't know where you're gonna find these things. Like, and it's like, yeah, it's all, and you want to watch it again, and like, how like you just have a hankering for a movie, and then you're like, go to try to find it, and it's like, oh no, you have to rent it. It's like, oh, what?
Yeah.
I would love to just be like, I have a hankering for this movie. Let me go to my DVD collection that's in alphabetical order, and let me grab it. Actually, my DVD collection is not in alphabetical order. It is by genre. And so
Ooh.
I'm like, okay, I go to my genre that I want and I grab it. And then I scratch that itch. Like I watched like recently, the other night, I watched Pee Wee's Big Adventure. Right, I think that's what it's called.
Yeah, the first
Tim
one, the
Burton's
bicycle.
first
Yeah, oh,
movie.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yep.
Um, had a hankering for it. Thankfully, it was available on HBO, but I watched it. But I was thinking to myself watching it, I'm like, man, like, what if I wanted to watch this movie again and it's no longer on HBO because it's gone now? You know, it goes this stupid ass rotation and licenses that it goes to. So I'm half and half. I can see the not buying physical media because it doesn't take up space, but also at the same time, I do like grabbing a Blu-ray off the shelf, putting it into the PlayStation, and watching it.
And before we end this, if that happens, Soto, you can call us and you can borrow our DVD copy of Pee Wee's Big Adventure, as long as you
Oh,
return it.
nice.
Jill will kill you if you don't return it, though. It's technically it's
But
hers.
she loved that movie.
Oh yeah, of course. She's huge on that. Oh yeah.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
brilliant! It's fucking brilliant. It is like the most Tim Burton movie. It's great. Pee Wee is amazing in it. And again, I just watched it, so it's fresh. But it was nice to watch a movie that I've already seen.
So yeah, before we end this, I laugh because the Alamo, they kind of retweeted after Paul Reubens passed, but they said they joke how many people ask, and they know it's a joke, about the basement, uh,
I know.
and they still, because I would probably do it too. Who knows? And
You would too.
I
I would
think
laugh at whoever brought it up. I'd be like, awesome. Now this tour is complete because somebody asked, when are we going to go to the
I think
basement?
it became one of those things. Like at first they were getting annoyed, and then they just accepted it. So
Classic, dude. It's fucking
it
classic.
is.
It's cinema history and it's pop culture history. And I mean, Paul Reubens was a treasure, and Pee Wee was that whole thing is a vibe, man. I loved it. It was enjoyable to watch, and so if I ever need to watch it again, I'll text you.
All right. Well, hopefully you have it for free. But either way, we've digressed, and Soto, we're at 100 movies. We are officially
Ooh, we did it.
halfway there for the movie.
Ooh,
So
what
I don't
does
know
the
what's gonna
second half
happen.
hold?
Well, from what we talked about today, Popeye, Mickey Mouse, Winnie the Pooh, and I don't know what you know. What you chose 100. Come 150, I might choose that, but I've said this all along. If it's free, and even if it's not, if we can rent it for cheap, movie 200 because it'll be in that time frame. Might have to be Terrifier 3. It's a Christmas
Oh
movie.
wow.
And you know what? We've talked about the first two this year. It just, who knows? If becomes free beforehand, I'm sure that's something we'll both see because, we'll see. But I feel like as of now, that would be the perfect 200th movie. But we got 6 more months to go. That will do it for the 200 movie challenge. If you just let us know what you
Nice.
thought about any of these movies, as we always say, if there's any movies you want us to see, just put it in the comments, But until next time, just enjoy some good movies.
Miss it play.